Yo guys, what's up, and I hope you're having a great day. Today I want to go over all the victims and family members' abilities and attributes. Each victim and family member has their own unique ability. Starting with the victims first, starting off with Connie's ability, which is called Focused. So Connie is able to pick locks very fast, but she will lose a lot of stamina in the process. It is considered one of the strongest abilities of all the victims right now. Sonny specializes in stealth gameplay, and his special ability is called Heightened Sense, which allows him to trigger a buff to detect noises, which allows him to pinpoint locations of family members and survivors. Next up, Julie. Her special ability is called Ultimate Escape. When activated, Julie cannot be tracked by the family, while also getting significantly reduced stamina drain while sprinting for a short time. This ability makes for a great escape when you're really in danger, because you can sprint for a short time without losing much stamina at all. Next we got Leland. He's a really sporty guy, really big guy, and his ability is called Lifesaver, which essentially means he can use his Lifesaver ability to shoulder bump family members and stunning them in the process. So you can do really nice plays with this ability, as we saw in the technical test, and it can make the family really angry. And if you get shoulder bumped by Leland as a family member, I can tell you it's not a good experience. Last but not least, we got Anna. Anna is kind of the tank of the victims. Her special ability is called Pain is Nothing. Her ability significantly reduces the damage she's gonna take from getting hit by the family members or falling down a well or jumping out of windows. Also, she's temporarily immune to poisonous effects. That means when activating this ability, you can potentially run through Sissy's poisonous cloud without taking any negative effects of that. Now let's talk about the victim's attributes. Starting off with Toughness. Toughness does help you sustain more damage before becoming incapacitated, and it also shortens the recovery time, giving you more survivability all around. So basically it improves recovery time and as well as stun resistance. Endurance basically means you get more stamina and a faster stamina recovery. Then we got Strength. Strength determines how effective a victim is at confronting family members. Strength can alter the stun effect duration for actions such as sneak attacks, grappling, or bursting out of hiding spots. It also assists victims in certain interactions like escaping restraints, opening crawl spaces, and turning off the generator. Every action that you take that requires some kind of strength will be more efficient. That means that strength is a great choice to level up if you want to really confront the family members. Next attribute is called Proficiency, and it basically makes you more efficient at completing tasks like lockpicking. And the last attribute for the victims is called Stealth. This attribute influences the victim's ability to perform actions silently. So you're gonna generate less noise while accomplishing tasks. If you enjoyed the video so far, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate that. Alright, next we got all the abilities for the family members, and all of these abilities can be further tweaked and tuned in a breakout section of the metagame skill trees. So players can open up the ability panel from within the main skill tree and add points to speed up the cooldown timings, buff ability effects, or change the parameters of the ability. Starting with the Cook. The Seek ability allows the Cook to lean in and listen for any noises of victims. So basically you listen in and you move the mouse around to focus in on any survivors that you can hear, and it will reveal the location of the victims. But keep in mind, this will only mark the survivor for your personal screen. The other family members will not be able to see them, so you have to communicate with your team to let them know where the victim is located. Sissy's ability is called Bane. Sissy picked up some unique skills in her travels, like her Bane ability. Basically it means you can craft poisons from plants and blow the powder in the faces of victims or use them to contaminate items. You can use it to create a poisonous cloud, to block doorways or small corridors, for example. And you can also blow it on items like toolboxes, and if the survivors interact with those items, they will get contaminated. The hitchhiker's ability is called Trap. I believe he has like 3 traps in his inventory that he can place around key locations. He can also reuse the ability and like collect the trap and put it somewhere else. This is very nice for doing traps at the fuse box, for example, or the generator, to just get a noise notification when the victims are in critical strategical places of the map. Johnny's ability is called Hunt. Johnny is the stalker and the predator, and he's a skilled hunter. This ability allows him to track survivors' footsteps. It's a really good ability for tracking down hiding survivors. And lastly, we got Leatherface with his ability called Maim. This one's also self-explanatory. He carries his big chainsaw and he can use it in many different ways. So he can not only use it to injure and kill the victims brutally, he can also destroy crawl spaces. He also got this special ability with his chainsaw that he can rev the chainsaw, and if he revs it like really hard for a long time, and then he has the ability to one-hit a survivor straight away. But you gotta be careful not to overheat the chainsaw, because otherwise you will get stunned and you gotta turn on the chainsaw again. Alright, let's talk about the attributes for the family members, starting with Savagery. This attribute directly affects the amount of damage you deal to victims. So basically it's just how much damage you're gonna deal to the victims by using your attacks. Hitchhiker, for example, doesn't have that much savagery, and his attacks feels like it doesn't really do enough damage. You gotta hit them like 20 times to get the kill, but it's just to balance his like ability to use crawl spaces and be so sneaky. Next attribute is Harvesting, and Harvesting affects the amount of blood you gain for Grandpa when interacting with victims. So if you hit a victim, if you win grapple fights with victims and you do executions, this will increase the blood you will gain from those actions. But actually it doesn't increase the blood you gain from the blood bags. And the last attribute is called Endurance, which is similar to the victim's attribute. It affects the stamina drain and the recharge rate of the stamina. In addition to that, the family members use stamina for their basic attacks. That's what you gotta keep in mind if you don't want to run out of stamina. You can level up your attributes through attribute points that you gain in the skill tree of the characters. That way you can improve your strengths or weaknesses and just make a better all-around character. And lastly, the family members also have unique characteristics. The cook, he can add additional locks to doors, which makes it harder for the survivors to enter those doors. Sissy, she's light on her feet, and similar to Hitchhiker, she can use crawl spaces and also hiding spots. The Hitchhiker is pretty slippery as well, and he can really follow the survivors through gaps and crawl spaces, and he has high endurance, which means he can swipe at you like non-stop. Alright, aside from Johnny being able to track you through the map, he can also, like, he's a really big guy, so he can also barge doors and crawl spaces instantly. Also, his hits are concussive, which means if you hit a victim with Johnny, they will get disorientation, probably like a visual effect or something that you cannot see as well. And for Leatherface, he's really a destructive type. He can destroy the crawl spaces, the barricades and the doors, with barricades being one of the few items that can give victims a bit of separation from like Sissy and Hitchhiker, which are not able to go through those barricades. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're as hyped as me for tomorrow's release of the game. Personally, I cannot wait to play, and I'm so hyped for the game. How are you feeling about the game? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more TCM game content. I see you guys in the next one. Peace.